Hey, what's good, my friends? It is Traj, and in this video I'm going to take you guys through 7 different tips that hopefully will help you guys finally get that damn monkey off your back and finally get that 20 bomb badge that you've been pushing for quite some time. And keep your head up, King. I think you're closer than you might even believe. And hopefully these tips, maybe you weren't exposed to these different ideas or different ways to go about getting a 20 bomb, and maybe this video finally puts you over that edge. And I'm happy to be part of that process. So I'll kind of just take you guys through 7 tips. I'll pretty much just be talking with some 20 play gameplay in the back. I used to play Apex on PS4. I was a 15,000 kill wraith, season 1, 2, and 3 Apex Predator, and then I switched over to PC and have a good amount of 20 bombs as well. So this is going to be an Octane 20 bomb on World's Edge. And I'm not going to take you guys through my decision making or anything like that. I'm just going to take you guys through 7 tips that if you apply and you put in a good session day in and day out, eventually it's just a numbers game and that 20 bomb is inevitable. You will secure it. Just keep fighting forward. So the first tip I'm going to say is play recklessly early. Now this doesn't mean play stupid, it doesn't mean play like a jackass. It just means play reckless early. Take chances. So drop worlds, drop in Fragment East, grab yourself a gun, and head right to the first action you hear. Worst case, you die, you start over, you try it again, but you really don't have time to waste. Now that doesn't mean drop down, grab a longbow and a Mozambique and push Fragment East, buildings and hope you're going to win the fight. But, land, if you get a R301, if you get a wingman, if you get a flatline, a peacekeeper, charge the first fight, especially if you get blue armor, purple armor, because odds are they don't have that. They probably have the white armor, they probably have alternator, P2020. You guys know how shitty the loot is off drop. So play reckless early. Now again, I want to highlight that does not mean every gun you get is enough to push. Maybe you'll have to loot for an extra, 20 seconds before you're comfortable enough to push a fight. But again, push those fights, play reckless, take chances. You're not playing to win. You're playing to get 20 kills. You got to kill a third of the lobby, so you got to be on your shit. You got to be moving, and you got to be playing a little bit reckless, especially early. Now, tip 2, I kind of briefly hinted at this in the last tip, but play alone. Some people might tell you it's easier to play with your friends, especially if you're coordinating it to where they're not going to kill anyone. And while that might be true and it might work for some people, the truth is that you want to be playing alone. That way, as soon as you die, as soon as you're finished, you don't have to wait for your friends. You can quit the game, you can hop into the next one, you can land, Fragment West again, and you have another chance of hitting a 20 bomb. The last thing you want to do is get killed and have to spectate your friends for 10 minutes as they're trying to, revive you back in. Although this game I did die, I had a ton of kills off the beginning, and I was able to get rezzed at Fragment, so it didn't take too much time off the board. But again, you really don't want to be spawning back in. Once you're finished, a lot of times that might be it. And when you're playing with friends, they don't like if you just leave every time you die, you know what I mean? So it's best to just play solo. Play with your friends when you want to play ranked or when you want to play to win. But when you're playing to get a 20 bomb, just play alone. Play reckless, play alone. If you die, try again. And that brings me to my next tip. So when you're landing, it's super important that you pay close attention to the dropship route. So you might be landing Fragment East, or you might be landing Fragment West, or wherever it is that you like to hot drop. Every single match is going to have a different hot drop, but I like to land Fragment, especially if you're going for high kill games. But you definitely want to pay close attention to that dropship. If it's coming in from the north side through Fragment East, that's a much different route that you should take afterwards than if it's coming from the south or if it's coming from the west. So it's one thing to land hot at Fragment and to get 7 kills off the rip, but you have to have a plan. You got to know exactly where you should be running next. Also, it is important to note that sometimes you can get stuck at Fragment East or West for a long time, especially once you get killing. Teams are constantly funneling into Fragment East and West, so this might not be the best example, because if you get moving, you can stay here and get an entire 20 bomb. Unless you run into like final boss fate or something like that, then you're absolutely screwed. But again, watch that dropship, play with a purpose, say, okay, I'm landing Fragment, I'm going to loot everything, I'm going to take out 2 squads, and since the dropship was coming from the northwest, I know exactly where I'm going next. And even additionally to that, to take it one step further, count the amount of teams that are landing in each spot. So as you're landing, you look around and say, holy shit, there's 4 teams there, there's 3 teams there. I'm definitely heading that direction as soon as I clear Fragment. So the 4th tip, I did say this already very briefly, but what you want to do is land hot. If you die, try again. So that kind of ties in with the playing solo, playing recklessly. But again, land hot, land fragment, land wherever, a ton of teams are landing. Take risks. Worst case you die, you try again. Like I said, we're not farming KD here. We're not farming our win percentage or any of that shit. We're trying to get a 20 bomb, and that's what you want to do. Land hot, play recklessly. If you die, try again, and don't get tilted. And that's actually worth talking about, so I'm not going to make that a separate tip, but it'll be a little extra little nugget, a little rabbit turd for you. Stay positive, don't get tilted. Apex Legends is so easy to get tilted. It's any RNG game where you land on the ground and the loot is totally up in the air. You might end up with a P2020 in a Mozambique and going against someone with purple armor and an L-star. Anytime you're in a game at a situation like that, you're gonna be triggered. You're gonna get triggered, especially if you just want a 20 bomb and you got close, or you're dying off drop after you had 6 kills and you knew you were on pace. Whatever it may be, keep your composure. At the end of the day, we're playing to have fun. At least that's why we're supposed to game. I know it can be a little bit, more to us, whether we're pushing for 20 bombs or trying to be the best in our friend group or trying to make content, whatever the hell it may be. It is important to stay positive. Okay, next tip. We got, it's number 5. The 5th tip for you guys is stick with one loadout throughout the entire match. So obviously, I'm not saying the first 2 weapons you pick up stick with, but if you grab a gun off the first guy you kill or off the ground that you really like in my instance, a wingman, R301, a peacekeeper, just stick with that gun. You don't want to constantly switch every time you kill a squad. You don't want to take their ammo and take their guns and swap perks and all that, because you're just wasting time. Grab guns that you like, 2 guns that you really like, and just get those kitted up the entire time. So now okay, all I need is a light extended mag, all I need is a shotgun bolt. And then as you're going from one squad to the next, killing everything in front of you, you're not sitting there trying to decide, should I switch to this flatline, should I switch to this EVA 8? Stick with your guns, grab your attachments, grab your ammo, grab some batteries and Phoenix kits, and then get moving. You don't have time. Like I said, you have to kill a third of the lobby. You have to kill 20 out of 60 people, so you don't have time to be making decisions. You want to minimize the amount of decisions you make, so all you're literally doing is killing. You grab your heals, you grab some ammo. In my case, I just needed a heavy extended mag, which I got, so I know if I kill this dude, I don't even need to loot him. Maybe I'll grab a Phoenix kit, but I just need to play for kills. And again, on Fragment East and West, sometimes the lobby's just perfect and players just funnel to you, so that is worth noting. If you just play over and over again and land Fragment East, and there are other maps too. Every map has its hot spot, that you can almost just be handed a 20 bomb if you play enough. So minimize looting, like I said. The next tip we have is ask randoms not to kill at the end. So what I mean by that, you guys can imagine what I mean. So you have 17 kills, there's 2 squads left, and you're playing with a bunch of randoms, because the earlier tip was play solo. Don't be scared to type in the chat or just come onto the micro fast and say, yo guys, I need 2 more kills, don't kill them, help me farm. They're fellow Apex players. As long as you haven't been toxic and you asked in a somewhat decent way, they should definitely say yes. That'll be fun too, especially if you're like, this is my first 20 bomb. They want to help. They're in the same trenches as you guys, trying to get the same 20 bomb badge as you. So if they know you're that close, they might be like, holy shit, man, that's awesome. Let's kill one of them. Let's let them res. They only have 2 guys up. Let's help them get to the respawn beacon so you can get 3 more. Shit like that. You never know. So definitely don't be scared to ask your teammates, to help you out towards the end. But again, don't play with friends, because then you can't quit as soon as you die. So it's tricky. Playing solo is the best, but make friends with the solos throughout that match if that's possible, if that makes sense. Now, I sort of mentioned this already, minimize looting. So I said stick with one loadout throughout, and this is very similar to that, but just minimize the looting. And that comes to anything. Minimize the the decisions you have to make. That's why I said earlier, watch the dropship. You just want to minimize wasted time, really, to summarize it. And that means, looting, that means deciding where to go on the map, that means, running around from death box to death box, grabbing random perks or attachments, that move with a purpose. But there you guys have it. Those are 7 genuine, from the heart tips that I think truly will help you guys, get your first 20 bomb out of the way. It's important to have fun with it. It's a challenging thing. Trying to kill 20 out of 60 people in a battle royale is insane. It is insane. It's one of the harder achievements in any game I've ever played, to be honest. So make sure you have fun with it. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. There's tons of amazing players who have not got this 20 bomb yet. Some of it's luck, some of it's being able to play enough, you know, kind of putting yourself out there enough for it to eventually happen. But again, to just kind of summarize those 7 tips: play reckless early, play solo, pay close attention to the dropship route so you know your next move at all times, land hot. If you die, try again, stick with one loadout throughout the game, and minimize looting. You know, you can upgrade attachments, grab heals and things like that, but you don't want to be swapping weapons every time you get a squad wipe. And again, make sure you ask the randoms for help at the end, whether it's not killing the last 2 guys or let them res so we can farm a bit. So, you know, have fun with it, guys. I do, you know, appreciate you guys watching this video. I just recently started making Apex content, so I just hit 20k subs, you know, with other games. This is primarily Rogue Company. But I love Apex. You know, if you guys do appreciate the videos, let me know, and I'm happy to start, you know, uploading a ton of more Apex content. But I'll let the rest of this 20 bomb gameplay play out, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Peace. God, sometimes I just can't see, man. He's cracked. Oh shit, wait. Oh my god, I'm getting shot by before. It's over, Jimmy. It's over. Oh, thank god I didn't miss a bullet there. Oh, get fried. Just become mate for you to carcass Shay. Need more juice. Using a Phoenix kit. Recharging my shield. Recharging my shield. Rings near with 30 on the clock. It's gonna be so close. I hear some, but if I die now, it's all over. I won't be able to get spawned back in time. For 17. This guy's really close. 10 seconds till ring close. Let's go. Guy's kicking down apartment. Yes, sir. 18. I need a pan. It's panic time. It's panic time. Teammates, don't fucking kill him. Rings closing. I like pushing limits as much as the next guy, but we gotta go. Ready, set, go! Do not kill. I need to. I'm usually not this guy, but like I've made it this far. Oh god, they're fighting. And they just got rezzed in, so there's definitely no. Yeah, that guy just. No, you're choking. I can't see. This is the guy who just dropped in. I gotta kill him. Down one. Oh, no, dude, the biggest misclick of my life. Oh my god. I'm fucked. Please don't choke now. He's sticking a res? That's 20. In 4K. Oh yeah, dude. Let's go, brother. GG, friend. Yo, Lifeline. Shout out to Lifeline. That dude was cracked with the reses. There was a few times where I could have been fucked. GG's.